Yo, what's good, Beeze Gang? What's good? It's your host, Jay Beeze, and welcome back to another. I thought he was gonna say it for me again. Friday Night Frights. Tonight, we got 3 chillin' short films lined up that's gonna have you checking under your bed, locking your doors, and questioning every shadow. So before we get into the video, man, make sure you go grab your snacks, wrap up in those blankets, and get ready to be scared. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss another Friday Night Frights. Let's go ahead and get into
it. This happened many years ago. I've never liked camping. I'm just not built for it. The dirt, the bugs, the uncomfortable nights in a sleeping bag that somehow always end up feeling like a rock by morning. Unfortunately,
I can't say I never went camping. Let me know in the comments if y'all ever been camping before.
I've been camping more times than I can count, though never by choice. My dad is one of those rugged, wilderness-loving types, and every summer when I was a kid, he dragged me out into the woods with his equally rugged friends to disconnect from technology and reconnect with nature. By the time I hit sophomore year of high school, I'd had enough of suffering in silence. I finally convinced him to let me bring a friend along to make the whole thing a little more bearable. To my surprise, he agreed without much fuss. So I brought my friend Charles from school. Now, you'd think bringing Charles would have made it worse, considering he was a hardcore Boy Scout back in the day and actually loves camping, but Charles was cool about it. He teased me for hating it, but he wasn't one of those "you're not a real man if you don't love the outdoors" types. Plus, I figured if I had to suffer, at least I'd be suffering with someone who knew how to make a fire and pitch a tent without turning it into a full-blown disaster. He was stoked to come, partly because he loves camping, but also because, back then, he looked for any excuse to get away from his parents. Unfortunately, the trip didn't go as planned from the start. It turned out that one of my dad's friends had messed up the campsite booking. Instead of some remote, peaceful spot deep in the woods, we ended up at this crappy, overdeveloped campsite. I'm talking indoor bathrooms, paved walkways, and even a playground for little kids. It wasn't camping. It was basically glorified backyard living.
At that point, man, cancel the whole trip and just rebook it. I mean, y'all do this every weekend.
Or glamping, I guess. To say my dad was upset would be an understatement. We didn't even discover the worst part until a few hours later. Right next to the campsite was a mini amusement park. I'm not joking, an actual amusement park with carnival games, a Ferris wheel, and a handful of roller coasters. It's surreal. Those two settings were never supposed to collide. An amusement park and a campsite. Everyone was pissed. My dad and his friend grumbled about how this wasn't real camping, and Charles wouldn't shut up about it either.
Damn, yeah.
This isn't real camp.
Damn, imagine, bro, you going camping, I think he said for 14 straight years, 15 straight years, you going to a camping wood, no phones, nothing. The one time, like, check this out. The one time you bring your friend on a camping trip because you thinking it's going to be the same as the last 15 years. No phones, nothing. Wood, start a fire, hunting, shooting rabbits. The one time you bring your friend, they got all this shit. They got a whole motherfucking amusement park. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Bad timing.
Saying, as if I needed the reminder. It started getting annoying because Charles kept making jokes about my family, as if we didn't know what real camping was. Now, as much as I hate camping, I know what it's supposed to look like, so I was getting annoyed that Charles was suggesting otherwise. I told him to knock it off, and he did. The whole situation sucked. We had driven hours out to the site. It wasn't like we could just turn around and leave. So, with no better option, we made the best of it. The grown-ups sulked for a bit, but eventually got to work setting up the camp. And Charles, of course, stepped up like it was time to shine. Within minutes, we had our tent up, all the knots tied perfectly, the rainfly secure, the whole thing staked and towed like it came out of a manual. Even my dad, who never really gave compliments unless someone was bleeding or unconscious, nodded in approval, which got under my skin a bit. Charles and I were sharing a tent, and once everything was set up and dinner was done, we slipped away for a bit under the excuse of organizing our stuff. The truth was, Charles had brought a little metal pipe and some weed in an old Altoids tin. Nothing crazy, just enough to take the edge off. I should mention that Charles and I were in that delinquent phase of life, where we liked causing trouble and hanging around in places we didn't belong. I don't smoke weed anymore, and part of me will always wonder if the only reason I ever did was because I was trying to stick out and defy the norm. Anyway, the two of us snuck into the woods and smoked, chuckling to ourselves the entire time. I don't think either of us were worried about smelling, since we'd probably be avoiding the adults for the rest of the night. We finished our session and made our way back to the tent. After a few hours of just chilling and talking about some of our other friends from school, we both agreed that we had way too much energy to sleep. Charles had a very mischievous grin on his face, and I could only imagine what he was thinking. He suggested we go explore the campsite, and I was skeptical. That is, until I realized he meant explore the amusement park, which instantly piqued my interest. He said it would probably be a piece of cake getting to the top of one of those roller coasters. Climbing stuff was something we loved doing back then, and the thought of climbing a roller coaster was exhilarating. So after we were sure everyone was asleep, we made our move. It was really late by then, well after midnight. We grabbed our flashlights and headed to the fence surrounding the park. It wasn't even that hard to climb, just a little boost from Charles and we were in. The place was dark, but there were security guards patrolling, and every so often, we'd hear the hum of a golf cart making its rounds. It felt like we were in some kind of stealth video game, sneaking around and trying not to get caught. We progressed through the park slowly, ducking behind buildings and keeping an eye on the patrol. At one point, we had to sprint across an open stretch of road to avoid a guard. It was actually really thrilling, but also scary as hell. It's a hard feeling to describe. Everything seemed like a game, but both of us knew the consequences would be harsh if we were caught. We finally made it to the base of the roller coaster, and from up close, it looked way bigger than it had from the campsite. We spotted the maintenance stairs running up alongside the main ascent and didn't hesitate. The metal rungs clang softly under our feet as we climbed, one step at a time, trying not to make too much noise. There were no railings for part of the stretch, which was actually kind of terrifying. We finally reached the top, and the view was unreal. We could see the entire park below us. We took a single photo up there, as you can see here. I wish we had taken more pictures, but we were being extremely cautious.
Is this true? AI generate photo y'all to use? Is this a real true story? I'm
To not
confused
draw
now.
attention to ourselves, as we wouldn't be able to get away in time if someone spotted us from below. Eventually, we figured we'd pushed our luck long enough and decided to head back. After making it to the bottom, we started creeping through the park back the way we had come. For whatever reason, the return route was much quicker than the initial one. Maybe the patrol wasn't as intense or something at that hour. I really couldn't tell you. We were maybe 5 minutes from the spot we'd hopped the fence when we had to stop. One of the guards was making a round in a golf cart, so we had to quickly duck behind a snack shack and wait for them to pass. That's when I noticed something move in the dark. At first I thought maybe I imagined it, or maybe it was a shadow from the golf cart's headlights bouncing off something weird. But then Charles tapped my arm and pointed in the same direction. I focused my gaze a bit more and confirmed it. About 30 feet away, just barely visible in the darkness between two buildings, was another person. They were crouching down just like us, like they were also sneaking around and trying to avoid the guards. It didn't look like a kid though. The worst part about it was that I was fairly confident they were looking directly at us. At this point, we were actually kind of scared. Between the patrolling guards and now this, the situation was getting a little overwhelming. As much as we wanted to, we still couldn't move. The guards still hadn't passed yet. I kept my eyes glued to the figure, and they actually started moving. They darted across a patch of open ground and right through the little spill of light coming from a nearby street lamp. For a split second, I saw him clearly.
We're gonna put it in a pose because I don't know. I'm not getting where this leading to. I'm starting to wonder if it's wasting our time. But it said three true scary stories. So I guess this is true. I don't know if the photo is true, But
It was a man like I suspected. He was wearing tattered clothing and had this really awkward stride like he was injured or disfigured, but none of that was as unsettling as the dark liquid smeared across his face. It looked like blood. Charles saw it too, and the two of us exchanged a really terrified look. Eventually the man ducked out of sight. The guard finally passed us and we kept moving. We didn't say a word as we made our way back to the fence. I kept checking over my shoulder every few seconds, convinced we were being followed, but no one was there. We made it back to the fence, scaled it the same way we came in, and dropped down on the other side. The difference was, this time we didn't laugh about it. All I wanted was to be back in the safe confines of our tent. I could tell Charles was thinking the same thing. By the time we made it back to our tent, neither of us
I'm not thinking the tent gonna keep y'all that safe.
brought up sleeping. We just lay there in our sleeping bags trying to make sense of what we'd seen. The best we could come up with was that it was some homeless guy doing God knows what. A stupid explanation, I know, but we couldn't think of anything else. The next morning started off normally. We got up, had a bite to eat, and started packing our gear to go fishing. But around 10 a.m., one of the camp staffers came around to our tent site and gave us an announcement that the whole campsite was supposed to hear. Apparently, a man had been stabbed and killed the night before at a lake about 4 miles away from the campground. They weren't giving many details, but the guy who did it was still on the loose, and the local sheriff's office had asked all park rangers and campsite staff within a certain mile radius to be on high alert. They described him as a disheveled white male in his late 30s, shirtless, possibly bleeding, or with blood on his clothes. Then they instructed us to pack our things and leave for our own safety. Charles and I instantly connected the dots. It must have been that guy we had seen the night before. We kept our mouths shut. We didn't tell my dad. We didn't tell the Rangers, and I still don't really know why. I know I'm gonna get a bunch of hate for this, and I get it, but at that age, I was more convinced with staying out of trouble than anything else. I still kick myself for not speaking up. My statement could have led to the capture of a dangerous person who may have gone on to commit more crime. I'm still close with Charles. We went to the same college, graduated together, and work in similar fields. This experience is something we don't often talk about, though. If I'm being honest, I think Charles feels much more guilty about not speaking up than I do. It's crazy that my friend and I were mere feet away from a murderer on the run. I don't like thinking about what could have happened had we crossed paths.
I don't know about that first one, bro. To be honest, yeah, that one wasn't scary, bro. Yeah, you seen the dude in the woods looking at you, possible blood on his face. Yeah, he stabbed somebody, but shit, he ain't running at y'all. He ain't hurt y'all. So I don't know. I don't know how y'all feel about that. Y'all got also put in a comment like.
Her name was Emily, a plus-sized brunette with a bright laugh and a fondness for country music. We had connected over a phone-a-date website. We had late-night phone calls talking about everything from bad exes to favorite songs. I knew country wasn't my thing, but I remembered enough from my last relationship to fake it. So, when she mentioned liking Luke Combs and Miranda Lambert, I played along.
That's crazy, bro. Like, come on, you can't even put no details, bro.
Let's meet, she said one night over the phone, her voice soft but eager. There's this cute cafe on Main Street. Sure, I replied, hiding my nervousness. Friday night? Perfect. Oh, and just a heads up, I'll bring a friend. You know, safety and all. Totally cool, I assured her, even though a part of me wondered how that might change the vibe. Friday arrived. I dressed casual but neat, dabbed on some cologne, and made my way to the cafe. Emily was already there, waving at me from a corner table. Sitting next to her was her friend. And damn, she was stunning.
I'm sorry, Mr. Whitaker, I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
I said, God help me.
Tall, sleek black hair with a bold streak of platinum, sharp cheekbones, a
Jeez, calm down. You can hear it in his voice. Calm down.
Dua Lipa look-alike if I'd ever seen one. Hey, you must be Jason, Emily smiled, getting up for a quick hug.
Oh, bro,
Yeah, hi.
I am gonna cat, bro. Imagine pulling up to a date, bro, and bro, your date show up with a friend like that. What, bro? Is she getting up for a hug? I don't know. Yeah, he finna switch on her.
And you must be Emily. And you, I turned to her friend, you look just like Dua Lipa. Her friend laughed, a soft musical sound. Emily's smile faltered for a second. We ordered coffee, some pastries. I tried to focus on Emily, but honestly, my eyes kept drifting toward her friend, who introduced herself as Cassie. She had this effortless charm.
How the fuck yourself up, girl? Why would you bring your friend to a date and you like Emily was probably nervous. We could give it to her, but
Tossing her hair back, tapping her long nails on the table, smiling every time I said something remotely funny. Emily, on the other hand, seemed tense. Maybe she noticed the shift in energy. The date ended awkwardly. Emily gave me a quick hug and left with Cassie, throwing me a look I couldn't quite read. But later that night, I got a DM on Instagram. Cassie, you were fun to talk to. Want to hang out sometime? Just us? Wink emoji. I hesitated for half a second before replying, sure.
I'm sorry, I'm over talking. I didn't even hear what she said.
You were fun to talk to. Want to hang out sometime? Just us? Wink emoji. I hesitated for half a second before replying, sure. When? 2 nights later, Cassie showed up at my apartment. She slipped off her jacket like she owned the room. Nice place, she said, looking around, her voice low and teasing. Thanks. Drink? Wine, if you have it. We drank, talked, laughed. Then one thing led to another. She knew exactly what she was doing. Everything about her screamed confidence. Suddenly, the front door burst open. What the hell? Emily stood there, wild-eyed, phone raised. She snapped 2, 3 quick selfies with us tangled on the couch in the background. Emily's face was flushed, her chest heaving as she stormed into the room, her phone flashing. Emily, what the hell? I stammered, trying to sit up, but Cassie was half draped over me, equally frozen. You slimy bastard! She shrieked, hurling the wine bottle at me. It smacked against the wall just above me. Emily, calm down! I tried to stand, but she was already grabbing a decorative bowl off the table and flinging it. It shattered against the floor, shards scattering across the hardwood. Casey scrambled up, putting her clothes into place. Emily, let's just... Shut up, Cassie! Emily spun on her, eyes wild. I knew it! I knew you were always the one! Before I could react, Emily lunged at me. Her palm connected sharply with my cheek, a sting of heat exploding across my face. Are you insane? I barked, stumbling back, holding my cheek. She wasn't done. She yanked at my shirt collar, pulling me down and biting my shoulder. Ow! What? Emily, stop! I shoved her off, heart pounding in panic. Cassie grabbed Emily's arm, pulling her toward the door. Emily, let's go. Come on, this isn't... But Emily was a storm, still throwing curses and insults over her shoulder as Cassie half dragged her out the door.
Is Cassie the one who DM'd bro first? It was her. So if anything, I feel like, the big girl, she kind of a little, she a little slow. And the girl is just a friend who always been there. But I feel like in other relationships, bro, she probably did that to her before, but she not realizing, bro. Cassie, bro, see, and she dragging her, like, bro, yeah, it's your fault, Cassie.
Then, silence. I stood there, panting, shirt rumbled, shoulder throbbing. My living room looked like a tornado had passed through. Broken glass, a toppled lamp, wine splashed across the rug. I slumped onto the couch, shaking. What the hell had just happened? That night I locked all the
ain't gonna lie, man. Cassie pretty big, too.
doors, double-checked the windows, and turned off my phone. I couldn't sleep. Every sound outside made me flinch.
Oh, no.
The next few days I kept a low profile. No Instagram posts, no texts, no casual strolls outside. I even avoided the usual
you didn't let that big girl scare.
Usual cafes and bars, just in case. I didn't know if Emily was out there plotting revenge, or if Cassie would show up
Emily scary.
again. All I knew was I'd stepped into something far messier than I'd bargained for, and I had no idea how deep it went.
Again, that was video 2. I don't. These like this Friday Night Frights is not like the first one, and you know it's not always gonna be good videos. Videos like these Friday Night Frights videos is iffy. I'm not knowing how I'm feeling. Like, bro, I can picture myself in a situation like that one. Like, bro, getting attacked by a big girl. Yeah, but her busting down the door, biting you, bro, like, that's the least of my, like, bro, I'm gonna continue to do what I gotta do. He let that shit really, frighten him, locking doors and bang on the bars. Like, I don't think that would have scared him like that. Like, come on, man. Put in the comments what y'all think. Last video. Got that light switch in our house, bro. I got one where if you turn it down, the lights. rip it. What in the right mind? If you see something cutting off the light, get them power off the light, bro. No. Well, that's a wrap, peeps. Thanks for watching Friday Night Frights with me. If you enjoyed the scenes, show some love, like the video, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to comment below your favorite animation. Was it 1, 2, or 3? And I'll see you next Friday. What's that behind you?